So let's talk about this rookie duel. Yesterday we saw the duel between Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren, which is going to define the league for a lot of years to come. If you guys didn't know, yesterday we saw these two guys go up against each other and basically have a duel which was one of the ages. Obviously, we cannot have too many of these duels, and we cannot, dibble dabble into certain, specifics or situations that might happen. But what we do know is that these are the two guys who are going to be leading the league for years to come. We know that Victor Wembanyama, an extremely competitive player, one of the few younger guys who actually cares about things like legacy, things like status, and things like how he gets looked at in the media, which I like a lot. I think having a young guy out there who actually cares about the integrity of basketball is something that we haven't seen in a while. Extremely defensive minded, extremely good. And I think that if he just keeps himself in this right track, he will become one of the best players in the world. Of course, as you know, none of them were all stars, so it's not like we have clear achievements to base ourselves off of. But what we do know is that both of these guys are amazing in their own right. So, what does this tell us about the NBA? What does this tell us about the league? And what do we know about these players that will make us prone to knowing how they're going to turn out, right? What we do know, these rookie duels are very important to the league as they mean a lot to the NBA. You know, we've had them with guys like LeBron and Melo back in the day, Jordan and Hakeem. We've had Barkley, obviously, was a great rookie. And normally, rookies which are, better or at least have more. So now you may ask, but why are these matchups, important? Why are all these rookie matchups, why are seeing these matchups important? Now, a lot of people might say, well, these rookie matchups are important due to the fact that they make people, very good, or they have the persistence, or rookies get to develop. No, in my opinion, these rookie matchups are good for people and for the league because they help show the league's, apart from credibility, it helps show that the league still has competitiveness and that the young guys who are coming out need to make a name for themselves before they can start, having these types of experiences. A lot of people might say, what do you mean by that, right? Because it's like, I'm sorry, but most people in the NBA and a lot of guys, it's become more common than ever, right? For people to just, be complacent with their abilities, with their way of being, and kind of hold back on the things which are important for the NBA. From this, we can see a loss of competitiveness, a loss of drive, a loss of hunger. So when we see a guy like Wemby, which is now a rookie, but come in and scream every game, play the toughest defense, get more blocks in February than every, not that every team, but than most teams have had in the month. It's like, yo, come on. Like, now we're actually talking about players and the future of the league. So in my opinion, right, what we have to talk about more than anything is about how these things affect the league. And a lot of people may say, well, they don't, or these are just their rookie seasons. But in my opinion, the rookie season is where you see how it's going to be for the rest of their careers, right? Of course, there's some exceptions to this. We've all known the examples, of the guys, who come in their rookie season, they look promising, and then they don't do anything again, like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. We've had other guys, like Malcolm Brogdon, which even though he has been a good rotational player, he, from his rookie season, even though it was a weaker campaign, you could see that there was a much larger, essence to his success than what now we perceive. Because before, the aura around him was like, oh, this kid could develop to be like like a good guard, maybe a primary point guard, maybe he could be a star. But now we obviously know that he's more of a role player and more of a secondary option. So, in my opinion, when we look at this, experience, and when we act and really put focus, right, on why rookie matchups are so important, we could talk about these matchups as being really the serving stone of what we're going to see for the future. I do believe Chet is amazing, even though he lost the game. It was a very close game, and you could see that Wemby really wanted to win this. Chet, on the other hand, has been having the better, more efficient season when it comes to offense. But in my opinion, I do believe that these things, right, and these matchups have created a good feeling around the league. If you guys didn't know, Chet Holmgren had yesterday, he shot 66% from the field, 25% from three. He had 23 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He had a pretty passive game, He had been having a monster week before that, but he had a pretty, chill game where he played well, but he was obviously outclassed by Wemby, which had 28 points, right, 7 assists, 13 rebounds with 5 blocks, 2 steals, on 70% from three and 53% from the field. I'm sorry. He had a game score of 31.6. And you could tell that Wemby, really wanted that win as kind of a stepping stone for his argument for Rookie of the Year. If you ask me, I don't think that Wemby needs to try this hard. I think the Rookie of the Year was in his hands as soon as he came and declared for the NBA draft. And even though there were some talks about Chet taking his spot, I do believe that that was just a bit of fluff to create some promo for and try to create a rivalry, which has obviously worked, as it's gotten Wembanyama pissed and it's made him want to compete to the best of his abilities in every matchup. So a lot of people might say, so if these two guys are like the best rookies that we have, they're the best in the league, they're what we can look at for the future, then what does that leave the other rookies who are playing really well? A Scoot Henderson, a Mark the Osar Thompson, which even though obviously he's had less of an impact recently and he hasn't been that great, has had a much better role in his team than a lot of rookies ever get. So a lot of people wonder, so why, what does that leave for those guys? And those guys are great. But when we talk about the sheer fundamentals of basketball and the next superstars for the future, I believe that Wemby's one of one. I hope that injury does not riddle him. He's had great trainers which have made it a point to make sure that he doesn't get injured, to make sure that he can play, to make sure that he is one of those guys that it's always readily available and that for the playoffs will be ready when he, starts making it. So in that sense, his team has really blessed him, and especially the team that he has put around himself. On the other hand, with Chet has great health. He doesn't exert himself far beyond his abilities, and he's one of those guys where it's just like you could tell that he has been very meticulously training on his body and his health, so that what happened to him last season during that run, during that, little scrimmage that he was playing against LeBron and the superstars in the crossover, doesn't happen again. So yeah, I do think that this rookie matchup was great. By the way, San Antonio won. If I said that, but I just wanted to make that clear. Wemby got his W. He was screaming in the end, and it was a great matchup.